Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thingamajigs Racing channel. We are here for a brand new series. The Virtual Racers Club, ladies and gentlemen, are letting us view their GTMC Gran Turismo Manufacturers Cup Round 1. Epic. It's exciting. This is where it all began for me, ladies and gentlemen. The very first series I ever announced was the GTMC. So this is quite special. What is the GTMC? The GTMC is VRC's only multi-category racing series, with drivers representing a chosen manufacturer and competing in both Group 4 sprint races and Group 3 feature races for a 6-week-long season. The teams may consist of one or two drivers. Only two drivers can drive for a manufacturer. See list of manufacturers. Well, you can't see the list, but there's a list. And this will be decided on the first come, first served basis. Drivers may pick any two cars from their chosen manufacturers where more than one are available. Those cars must be used throughout. No, strictly no. It is denied any VGT cars. They will not be permitted to enter the championship. They qualify for 10 minutes each round, ladies and gentlemen, for the grid of the sprint race, which will be the Group 4s. That'll be 15 minutes, and they'll only use the soft tyres for the qualifying and for that race. Then the feature race with the Group 3 cars will be a 40-minute random reverse grid rolling start, and they can use all three compounds of tyre in that race. Well, they have to use at least two of the three available. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all you really need to know. They've got, for the sprint, it's ×2 fuel, ×1 tyre wear. And for the 40-minute race, it's ×6 on the fuel and ×4 on the tyre wear. That's really everything. So shall we see who the players are going to be this season? Who we will be watching with a close eye throughout the season. In the chat, it's already lit up at this hour of the morning. I am shocked. But James Harvey saying hello thingy. Well, hello. Racer Brown saying hello thingy. Muddy saying yo yo thingy. And Racer Brown saying you are a machine. I'm on nights for this next couple of weeks, so I'm just slapping them in while I can before I go to bed. I'm just smacking this one out. Right then, so the Gran Turismo Manufacturing Championship, this one's their 8th season, ladies and gentlemen. This has been going a long time in the halls of the VRC. So let's have a look at the grid then and what they're driving. On pole position then, ladies and gentlemen, it's at Racing, and he is in a Scooby. Not always the fastest, some say. The four-wheel drive, he's going to be slack off the start. For sure. He's going to be gobbled up at the start, I am pretty sure. But he's got the Scooby right up there on pole and beaten some big scalps to get there, ladies and gentlemen. May I introduce to you at Racing. In second place, ladies and gentlemen, it's the host with the most. It's Skyjacker, ladies and gents. He goes by the name Sky nowadays, but he will always and forever be Skyjacker to me. He's decided to go with the Porsche this season. In third then, it's RB, back from the dead, ladies and gentlemen. The RB donning a Jag. He's going all shag on us, ladies and gentlemen, and I like it. He's got an Alpha Daily coat, he's got a cigar, and he's just poncing around in his Jaguar. And yes, why not? In fourth place, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Baz. He looks like he's Skyjacker's teammate, underling. I mean, teammate. So, Bazza in fourth with the Porsche. Very good stuff. Fifth place, a blast from the past. It's the Psycho, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Psycho taking out a very sexy looking MC Laren. And I am here for it. It is nice. Well done. In sixth place, it's digital blasphemy. Yes, it's the Digi, ladies and gentlemen, and he is looking magnificent in his usual black and red livery. He's taking out the Lambo, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to be absolutely screaming the backside off of that Lambo, and I'm here for that. Seventh is Paul Power, ladies and gentlemen, the first Ferrari of the crowd. Oh, the simplicity of it makes it beautiful, if you know what I'm saying. So Paul Power in the Ferrari, and he is sitting in 7th place at the moment. In 8th place, we've got Biggeth of Dan, the big kahuna, the big kahuna. Yes, it's Ensign Hewitt, ladies and gentlemen. Big Dan, he's gone for the Toyota, and he's looking rather magnificent there in 8th place. 9th place goes to the Koi Carp in 9th in the Lambo in a very fine Gulfstream livery. Lovely. Then we have in 9th, no, that was 9th, that's 10th then. It's Pat, ladies and gentlemen, in a very divine looking Rizzler. That, Pat, that is magnificent. That's a chef's kiss on that one. That's got to be one of the best Rizla liveries I have seen to date. So, yeah, Pat in a Ferrari, looking absolutely magnificent. In 11th place, ladies and gentlemen, in the second shag, it's Jokus. Jokus in a Jag. The Jaguar Jokus. So, Jokas taking the Jaguar out for a spin, ladies and gentlemen. And again, looking absolutely smashing that. That is, you're not going to miss that one coming down the road, I can say. 12th then, ladies and gentlemen, is the Jammy Dodger, and he has decided to go for an MC Laren, ladies and gentlemen. 2 in 1 batch. That is fantastic. So, yeah, that is the Jammy Dodger. And that is one fine looking livery. I tell you what, they don't half pay off with their liveries in this group. 13th, ladies and gentlemen, is the Halves. The Halves also taken out to Toyota. And again, another mighty fine livery, it has to be said. Superb stuff from the Virtual Racers Club. They do deliver. Harvey then in 13th. Then 14th, we have Ginger Collective. And there's always one in the group that thinks that that Renault is worth a shout. And fair play to you. It's people like you that just, you know, gives the rest of us something to do. No, there's another group that someone chose a Renault and they go nowhere in it very fast. So I'm expecting the same, especially as the Ginger Collective is at the back. And, Wayne in the chat saying you're the boss of comms. No, sirree. There's too many mistakes and there's too much waffle. Too much fat around the outsides. I'm not a lean, mean commentating machine. I've got years to get there yet. That said, though, let's get on with this race, ladies and gentlemen. We've met the players. We've seen their machinery. We know what they're driving. Now, here at Deep Forest, see, for a start, I never told you it was Deep Forest. Not once throughout any of that intro did I say we're at Deep Forest. And that should be key. That should be the number one thing. That's get them in. Get them in with the track. We're at Deep Forest. Get you excited. See, it's lost already. The whole stream's wasted. Anyway, let's get this racing underway, ladies and gentlemen. They're all on soft tyres. It's a 15-minute race, and let's do a battle at racing. Then pulls away. Absolutely fantastic. I was wrong about the four-wheel drive. I thought they were slow, but maybe they're fast off the start. But Skyjacker set in chase with the Bazza on is 6, so someone dropped back badly there. And who must it have been? Oh, it's the Matt of Psycho. He's been playing a lot of ACC lately. Maybe they don't have jump starts in that. Or maybe their startings is different to the start in Gran Turismo. But Matt Psycho down in 13th, making his life very difficult for himself. It's the two MC Larens holding off the back end of the grid at racing, then is pulling away at some speed from the Porsche brothers. and RB is sticking with them, as is Paul Power, and the Lambo chewing up that corner, closing in on Paul Power now, and Digi is going to be making some moves, I've got a feeling. Yeah. So Digi then right on the rear derriere of the Ferrari as we go through the bridge. And is he going to try and make a move? I think there's some movement up there with RB and Bazza. He's got a lovely toe there, but I just don't think... Excuse me. It made me sneeze, that speed of that. And there's some action here, cars side by side, with Pat going against the Koi, and Pat in his Ferrari getting the move done on Koikarp's Lambo, and Big Dan gets to watch it all from behind. So far then, we've still got Digi and Paul Power going bang at it side by side, and it looks like RB and the Bazza side by side. RB going for a move down the start straight, Bazza later on the brakes, is he? No, they're still side by side coming into this first corner, and the Jag gets the apex. Ladies and gentlemen, there is still life in that old dog yet. And the Bazza, he's dust. Talking about dust, someone's kicking up some. I think that's just the racing line. Sky's setting up about out racing, with RB now moving up ahead of the Baz, and the Baz has got a whole queue of cars that would love to have a piece of his Belgium Heine. Paul Power being the first in line, then Digi, then Koikarp's back ahead of the Pat. Oh, Pat slipped back 2 positions there, so Pat may have made a mistake, and that has allowed Koikarp through. Skidding sounds between the Digi and Paul Power going at it. Lovely stuff from the Digi there, up the inside of Paul Power, but Paul Power in that Ferrari now getting the toe, ladies and gentlemen, will be coming straight back at the Digital Blasphemy, and he's right there in his Heine. It's a little explicit, I'm not sure if I can show it, ladies and gentlemen, but there is definitely some anal action happening there between the Power and Digi. Digi back ahead, and oh my lord, Koi having a little whiff as well. Koi fancying it. Koi seeing there is some action there, and Paul Power says not today, not this time. And Digi is through though, setting about the Baz. The Baz chasing down the RB. Further down then we've got Big Dan, Pat, and we've got Jokers chasing down Pat now. Look at the speed they're bringing around. They both passed the wall there, I'm sure of it. Jokers has got damage, Pat hasn't. So Jokers now has to worry about Matt Psycho, who's getting on. He's up to 11th already, as the Ginger Collective in the Renault is chasing him around. And it's a lovely little battle here between Jokas, Matt Psycho, Ginger Collective. Harvey wants a piece of that action, and the Jammy Dodger is sniffing around as well, looking. Oh, yellow flags, ladies and gents. And there we see it's the Sky. It is the Sky, second place driver, for some reason not where he should be. Oh, he closed right in on Out Racing, didn't he? I don't know if Out Racing made a mistake that last time around, but Skyjacker was nipping at his heels, and the Porsche just decided it didn't want to go round that corner. You saw it, I think he hit the curb a little awkwardly, and now he's trying to get back in the action. Whoa! Not a great re-entry there, but there was not much room for re-entry. Who did he hurt? It looked like Joker's got the brunt of that one, and that puts Matt Psycho up another position. Pat gets away from Jokers. He was under threat from the Jokers for a second there. Matt Psycho up to 9th. Jokers in 10th, with the Ginger Collective in 11th. Skyjacker must be crestfallen down there in 12th, with the Halves in 13th, and the Jammy Dodger looking set in his MC Laren to make some moves on the Toyota. He's coming up alongside him, and the Ginger Collective looking like he's going a bit slower. No, he's just moving out of the Sky's way. Everyone knows now to stay out of Skyjacker's way. At driving at the moment, though, is being caught by the RB. RB flying at the moment, and Digi's got up ahead of the Baz. The Baz slipping down another position, with Paul Power closing in, and Koikarp therefore at the action as well. Big Dan in the Toyota looking out of place in this supercar lineup ahead of him. The Lambo, the Ferrari, the Lambo, and his little Toyota. But he is getting some speed out of it now. We're 1/3 into this race, ladies and gentlemen. Out Racing is absolutely slinging Scooby at the moment, and he is saying goodbye, senoritas. And RB though, 1:35.5 from the RB. The Jag last time about 1:35.1 from Outracing. Digi in third place, 35.8. But he is being hunted by the Baz. The Baz did not like relinquishing that spot to the Digi, and he is hunting him down. On board with the Bazza at the moment in fourth place. 15-minute race. We're over 5 minutes in already, and we've had a lot of action. Skyjack, a big spin. RB getting some moves done on the Baz. So Bazza at the moment trying to stay with Digi. Digi's away though into the braking zone, and Digi is looking good, very planted, very neat, and he pulls away from the Baz. The Baz now, his concerns might be looking behind him, with Paul Power and Koikap all nipping at the heels of Paul Power as Big Dan tries to get himself involved in that race. Pat in 8th. He's being caught by the MC Laren of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho coming in hard, swift and rather fast, ladies and gents, so beware. Skyjacker up to 10th. This is now a recovery drive. Wayne was on, my money was on the WRX, what to pull away, and Baz is saying, good morning buddy, missed you at Brands this weekend. Oh, was it the big weekend meet and greet for the VRC at the Brands? Oh, I didn't even speak last time. I got all weird and introverted. I'm best off not mixing with people. Much better when I can't see anyone. So Skyjacker then in 10th place, with Matt now all up and about the Ferrari. Matt Psycho getting to work on that 8th place. Another one on a recovery drive as he tries to implement himself by the Ferrari. And now, oh, there's not much room in there. Pat not giving not much room. He's saying, no sir, not through there, you're not. Wow, I saw that opening and thought, yeah, he's going to get his nose up there, and then suddenly this Ferrari appeared and said, no, you don't. And Matt Psycho fancying it, not under braking. He's going to tuck this one in nicely and pull out with a better speed than the Ferrari. No, he cannot. The Ferrari stands its own, ladies and gentlemen. Pat showing what he can do. All the time this is happening, Skyjacker closing in the Porsche. Then we have Jokas in 11th, ahead of the halves, who's doing a super job there in the Toyota. Then Ginger Collective in the Renault in 13th, ahead of the Dodger in 14th. At racing so far, getting the fastest lap of the race, and I think they're all worth points. He's jiggity-jaggedy though. Let's hope his connection stays in there. With RB now in 2nd place, with Digi there, hunted him down. 35.3 from Digi last time around. You can see he's slinging Lambo with RB at 35.3, so nothing in it betwixt the two of them. It's going to take a mistake for a position change here, I believe. These two are on top form at the moment. Paul Power up to 4th. What? Go on. Where was Paul Power? Was he there? He wasn't there, was he? He was behind the Baz. I don't know when it could have happened, but not. And now Baz is under threat from Big Dan. Big Dan, the Porsche dropping away of the Bazinator at the moment, and Big Dan is having a bit of a look. Not into the braking zone, takes a wider pitch into the corner to get a better drive out, try and go on the attack down this fast hill. Swing it around that final corner and try and get him into the first corner. The first corner's a bit too fast for it. Getting the toe all the way. Beautiful stuff from Big Dan. But no, it doesn't look like he can just get that Toyota close enough to the Porsche to put an imprint on it. And Bazza just too fast. Just too fast for Big Dan today. I daren't pull away just in case. Big Dan's got that sort of you can just tell when Big Dan's hungry for it. He's got a posture. Oh, and here he goes in the tight bits. The Toyota seems to have it on the Porsche. Bazza all at sixes through the corners as Big Dan really slings it. And I suppose you've got to be careful. We've seen what Skyjacker... Oh, more screeching. Oh, Skyjacker's got past MC Laren of Matt Psycho. And Skyjacker then really slinging his car as Matt Psycho falls behind. He qualified on the front row, and now Matt Psycho having a look. Two Titans racing here. Matt Psycho slightly ahead in the MC Laren, and Sky dropping back for the toe. And Matt Psycho then into the corner, and he's pushing the McLaren as fast as it can possibly go, and he's back ahead of Skyjacker. So nothing serious, nothing to worry about. Bazza then, oh, he has got dropped behind Big Dan, and now Big Dan is all up and about Paul's business. What did Paul do to him? And Big Dan then staking his claim on that fourth place already, but Paul Power on the inside, and Bazza's having a whip. And oh, I thought we saw the Toyota go. It did go a little bit, I think. It went a little bit, but he caught it. Beautiful stuff from Big Dan. Koikarp there in the fight as well. And now we have that pairing of Skyjacker and Matt Psycho. Jokers, where's Pat gone? Pat's dropped behind the Harvey. But he's giving Harvey a lot to think about at the moment. All up and about his business. One side, the other side. But the Harvey's Toyota quite wide. Won't let him through. So Pat pushing hard on the Harv at the moment, but the Harv is he's defensive driving, and he knows how to block an apex. Jokers is getting away from that fight with Matt Psycho now behind Skyjacker again. What go on between these pair? They're swapping every single corner. It is fascinating and fantastic. At Racing is leading from the RB, and Digi is in third. Down here we have Skyjacker and Matt Psycho dicing each lap with overtakes galore. Koikarp, oh, they're all close again. Big Dan slipped behind the bars now. So we're missing racing everywhere. We look at someone. And Out Racing then is coming up to 13 minutes. 2 more minutes left of this race. So probably about 2 laps to go. And Paul Power at the moment holding his own in fourth with the Bazza in the hunt, and Big Dan temporarily was ahead of the Baz, but has slipped back again. Oh yeah, we saw it, didn't we? He lost the back end of the car, of course. Yeah, we did see it. We're not missing all the overtakes, ladies and gents. We saw that one. Koikarp in 7th, 36.4 from him last time around, but they're doing 35, mid 35s. These three. So Koikarp, he can do early 35s as well, but the tyres look okay. Maybe just pushing a little too hard at this point in the race. He does know he's got Skyjacker chasing him down, and Skyjacker, he'll be furious with that early spin, especially as it really wasn't his fault. It just seemed like he'd come off the curb awkward, and the Porsche decided to go around. So he'll feel that was a little unfair, and he'll be absolutely slinging Porsche to get as many points as he can. He knows this championship's going to be a tight run championship, totally fought for. So Coy at the moment in that 6th place. Big Dan still chasing the Baz. The Baz fancies that position back from Paul. I am sure he believes that's his position. And the Bazza really is slinging his Porsche around Deep Forest today. Digi in a safe 3rd, with RB a good way ahead of him in 2nd, and Out Racing has totally dipped in this one and disappeared. Paul Power is under threat from the Baz pushing on now as we get into the final parts of the race. Wayne in the chat then, hang on, I'll get my glasses on, saying me, Cy Vane, Ghost Racing URL now, League 5. No, you missed us. Hey, good on you lads. I want to see you on Tuesdays though. I'm still doing that last season of Tyre Shredders. None of you were there final lap, that last race. So it's the last lap now. Out Racing is leading by a country mile. RB did his best to chase him down in the shag, but the shag can only do so much. Digi had a fantastic early race, cutting through the field like they were nothing, like they weren't even there. Paul Power also got a few overtakes done early doors and got himself up to fourth, but the Bazza isn't giving up on it, and nor is Big Dan. Big Dan is in the periphery. He is ready to claim those spots. Out Racing then is coming around to take the checkered flag, and the first win goes to Out Racing. Great drive from the Subaru driver. RB gets that second spot in the shag, with Digi bringing home the Lambo in third. Paul Power gets his fourth, and Big Dan just pips Bazza at the line. Koikart gets seventh, Skyjacker gets eighth, Matt Psycho brings it home in ninth, Jokas gets his Toyota home in 10th. Good points, with the halves ahead of the pack. He should be happy with that, and Pat in 12th. Ginger Collective, he's being chased by the Jammy Dodger, and the Jammy Dodger grabbed it off the Ginger Collective right at the line there. Unbelievable stuff. Where did that come from? So here we go. Ginger Collective coming around that finalish corner. Just wasn't fast enough for the MC Laren. Just pipped him at the line. Tight stuff. So that's Out Racing in the Group 4 category, taking the win. And then they have this randomizer to make the grid for the next round. Well, it just picks one number, and then they reverse the grid from that one number. So if it says number 4, I think the top 4 get put to the back and reversed. And if it picks number 9, then it's the front 9 get reversed and put to the back. I believe if it goes by the way it used to go, that's what used to happen. So what an absolute fantastic race. Now they're going to run over, get in their Group 3 machinery, and then go at it in a semi-enduro race with the Group 3 machinery. 40 minutes. 2 tyres of compound must be used out of the 3 options, unless there's a wet race, but that very rarely happens. Very, very rarely happens. Great success. Okay, don't look at the cheat. Don't look at the spoilers. I pressed you too quick, obviously. So here we go. It's all too quick for me. Not that one. This one. We'll get the all the information we need up. So I can't remember who finished where, to tell you the truth. Who won at? So it might have been 12, because they've stayed the same. Oh, Shadow Riders joined at the second race. Fantastic. So here we go. We'll just you guys work out what happened. That's a close-up of Pat. Now it's too far away from Pat. For Pete in hell's sake. There you go. There's a good one of Pat. Pat's on pole. He's starting on the racing medium tyres, ladies and gentlemen. Harvey starting in second on the racing soft tyres. Jokas in the Toyota starting on the mediums from third. Matt Psycho also starting on those mediums from fourth. Skyjacker will be starting on the softs in his Porsche from fifth. Koikart starting in sixth on the mediums. Bazza is starting in seventh on mediums. Big Dan is starting in eighth with mediums. Paul Power starting in ninth on softs in his Ferrari. Digi is starting in 10th in the Lambo. Is that a Lambo? God, the Group 4 one's so much more meaty looking. That looks kind of weedy next to the Group 4 version. Well, we don't know. We'll see when it races. He's starting 10th, on the soft tyres. The Jaguar of RB is starting 11th on the mediums. Out Racing is starting in his Scooby in 12th on mediums. Jammy Dodger starts in 13th on the mediums. Ginger Collective in 14th on the mediums. And Shadow Rider joins the chat, and he'll be starting on mediums, and I think he's in an Audi. God bless him. God help him, more like. So, yes, that's how they start, ladies and gentlemen, what tyres they are on. It's a rolling start as Pat leads them away in his Ferrari, and the halves is closing, like trying to close in. And there they go, ladies and gentlemen, a rolling start. And, it looks like Jokers is off to a great start there. Having a look at the half already, it's... is he in a shag? I keep saying he's in a Toyota because of the Panasonic thing, but yeah, Jokers is in the Jag, and he's just pulled a move on the Toyota. Great stuff from Jokers. The Polish pilot absolutely slinging it early doors. Matt Psycho, he's on them softs, is he? He's not. He's on the mediums. Halves is on the softs, so that is a surprise, with Pat trying to get away as quickly as possible. Jokers set in chase, but he's on mediums as well. It's Halves who's on the soft tyre. Matt Psycho in fourth, and Skyjacker starting on softs up to fifth, with Koikarp on the mediums in sixth. More movement, is there not? Jokers Halves has got past Jokers losing the position to the Halves. He managed to make the move up the inside of the Jaguar, but the Jag coming back as bold as brass, back up ahead. But in the corners, Harvey will have a distinct advantage with those soft tyres, even now later on the brakes, but going very wide like Pat did. Pat still hasn't rejoined the track, and Jokers could claim that Pat really, he should let him by. And here we go, Koikarp in third with Skyjacker alongside his teammate Bazza and the Psycho. Bazza ping-ponging between the two. Oh no, that wasn't Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho was behind him. I'm not sure who the car was in betwixt them all. But Koikarp trying to maintain that third place. And now Bazza up ahead of Skyjacker. Bazza on the medium tyres now moves ahead of Skyjacker, and Matt Psycho is right in their rear derriere. And Harvey is there with him as well. Harvey having a sniff. Oh, it's Harvey that dropped behind. Oh yeah, he went wide, didn't he? He went wide. And now Digi trying to make a move up there, but it's very crowded around here. Very crowded for Digi to get his work done. He's got Big Dan all up and about his business early doors as well. It's very close, with At Racing in 10th, Paul Power in 11th. Then we have RB in 12th. We've got Jammy Dodger in 13th. We've got Ginger Collective in 14th, and Shadow Rider in the Audi in 15th. But Jokers leads from Pat. Yes, so Jokers has got past the Pat then, and then Koikarp in third, closing in on Pat. There's a big gap now from him to the Bazza and Skyjacker that are still battling it out with Matt Psycho in the mix. Then we got three wide there between Digi, Harvey, and the big of Dan, I believe. Skyjacker shuffling around all over the place as now big Digi comes in for the attack, and Skyjacker goes into the barrier. I don't know if he was helped or if he just had a bit of a spin. He was looking rather, oh, poor Skyjacker, twice in one race. It is not his day. So let's have a look then. We're not judge and jury here, we just wanted to see what happens. And there's Matt Psycho up the inside. Everything seems hunky-dory. Oh, Matt Psycho could have given him a bit more room, but that's not the cause or the problem. Side by side. Oh, I think that was racing incident, but two wheels on the grass when he taps Digi, and he bounced over to the other side of the curb and spun on the grass. Not Skyjacker's round, ladies and gentlemen. Not his round at all. Still plenty of racing to do as Joker's under threat from the Pat now, as Pat is being pressured by the Lambo of Koikarp. Great stuff. There's Koi then getting the position off of Pat. Koi on the medium tyres, Pat on the medium tyres, and it's Koi that is through and up into second and hunting himself a piece of Jaguar. No, Pat's around the outside. Pat fancying it around the outside. He doesn't get it to stick though. And now Koikap, but Koikap had a slide mid-corner, but he's still through. He is still through. Ladies and gentlemen, Koikap managed to maintain that second place. And I'm sure we saw in that second corner, he had a bit of a slide on, and he still managed to keep the position. Pat all up and about his rear derriere as Bazza now in fourth with Harvey in fifth. And we've got Paul Power alongside Digi here. Digi slipped back a little bit after the old Skyjacker incident, it seems, and Paul Power has now managed to get ahead of him in his Ferrari. Digi trying to go around the outside of the Ferrari. Can he make it stick? Oh, and the Ferrari's got a face full of Toyota there. The car in front is definitely a Toyota, but he doesn't want it to be. He wants to be by it. It's holding him up a little bit from the Digi onslaught that is inevitably going to come as Digi slings it with his soft tyres. Paul's on soft tyres as well, and so is the halves. So it's a tough one to do, but Paul pulls the trigger on the inside, and the Ferrari is up and ahead of the Toyota. Fantastic stuff. Now Paul trying to get himself influenced in Bazza's life. He's introducing himself. Hello Bazza, I'm Paul. And I'm on soft tyres, so it's inevitable I should get past you as the Bazza takes a detour in that corner, and Paul Power tries to find a way by, but there is no way by, not with the Bazza. He is a brick wall, ladies and gentlemen, and now he cuts back in, does Paul Power, because he sees there is no opportunity to overtake the Porsche driver at the moment, and he's got a queue of cars behind him. If he cannot get it done, they all want to. On the toe then, coming up through here, Pat as well. Now Paul Power having a look. Can he, is there enough grunt in the Ferrari to get himself by the Porsche? And it's a drag race down to the hairpin. The Ferrari just slightly ahead. Onto the brakes, ladies and gents. Oh, the Toyota made contact with the Porsche. And yeah, Paul easy through, but Bazza there interfered with, maybe, possibly by the Toyota. And the Lambo right there in his rear derriere, and the Lambo with the other ones up into second now. So Digi not going to be happy with the pace of his car down there, languishing in seventh, scrapping all the way as the braking is ever so late in that corner, and the Bazza is in trouble, ladies and gents. RB there in eighth place. He's just trooping around. Nothing he can do at the moment, but he is closing in on this battle ahead of him with the Baz, the Digi, and Harvey. Harvey doing a fantastic job. He is on the soft tyres, with Digi also on the soft tyres, and Bazza doing a remarkable job on the medium tyres, staying with them. RB is also on those medium tyres, and he has closed in on this action. Big Dan not that far away as well, and Skyjacker is trying to get back into it. At Racing, they're in 11th, not made much headway so far, but it seems that they can't on these medium tyres. Jammy Dodgers picked up a little bit of damage in the MC Laren, but he's cracking on anyway, and Shadow Rider is up ahead of the Renault of Ginger Collective. Jokers then meanwhile under pressure. Oh, a little contact there, and Koikap is through. And I think he straightened out Jokas. Jokas seemed like he was just about to have a bit of an adventure over the curbs, and he knocked the side of the car, Koikap, and it straightened him back out again. And now Pat is right there in the thick of this action, ladies and gentlemen. 7 coming up to 8 minutes of this 40-minute race, and it has been action-packed as Pat sends it. He licked that stamp, sent it up the inside of the Jokas. And what a remarkable job he has done so far. Great stuff. Can Pat catch up with Koikap at this point? So, sorry, ugly camera angle. So Koikap then in the lead with Pat, squealing their way around these corners, and Joker's still there in the action as well, and Paul Power has set to join them up at the front. Harvey just being overtaken by the Digi. all over him like white on rice, ladies and gentlemen. Digi gets himself past the Harv Meister. The Harvey's tyres now starting to feel a little bit of pain. RB there, he's waiting as well. Oh, Baz has slipped back even further, and we've got a side-by-side here with Digi and Harvey. Harvey's come back for the position, and he retakes it, ladies and gentlemen. The Harv's is got some race in him. Let us not forget that the Harvey is a racer, ladies and gentlemen, and he's just schooled Digi. And they're both on the soft tyres as Digi comes back at the halves now into the first corner, and Digi set on the inside to claim the apex. Harvey though gonna do the old switcheroo, and the halves is through, and Digi again schooled. RB closing into this fight, and Digi, he's either got to have a poo or get off the pot, because RB's coming into the equation, and that's going to make things quite awkward indeed. The Bazza still feels he's a part of this race as the Big Dan closes in, and so does his teammate Skyjacker. In the chat, Muddy saying, I love the phrase, he licked that stump and sent it, and Digital Blasphemy saying, morning thingy. Well, hello, good sir. We've just become Discord friends, so I'm rather excited. At Racing, the winner of race 1, and he's just sitting there casually. He's just casual about it all. I mean, I guess fuel might be an issue here. We're 10 minutes in, they're really getting through the fuel tank. Well, At Racing is. That's Scooby, one thirsty old car. And soft tyres might not cut it for 30 minutes in this race, so that's the tough one for At Racing. Jammy Dodger as well, close to a quarter of a tank of fuel. The fuel might dictate that they're going to do 2 stops in this race. Shadow Racer in 13th, just dipping his toe back in the Virtual Racer Club waters and seeing how it feels, as Ginger Collective now starting to believe that Renault may have been a poor choice after all. I was never talking about the Group 4 car. The Group 4 car is slow but fun to drive. That thing is just god-awful. I've been told it is fun to drive, but I've never enjoyed it. The once I've driven it. It was a few updates ago, so it may be better now, but wow. Spin City. Koi Carp at the moment doing a fine job at the front of the grid. A quarter of a tank of fuel on board. The fuel is rather concerning, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm wondering how they're going to deal with it. Digital Blasphemy says, I always loved you, friend, bro. I was always your friend, bro. Yeah, but I mean, I had a request for Digi to be my friend. I was like, yeah. Koi Carp then leading the way with Jokus in second, Paul Power in third. Then we have Pat. Paul Power really has used his fuel and his tyres. He's going on the attack with Jokus, but he's really going to be having to consider a pit stop pretty soon. And Jokus and Paul Power both make the pit at the same time. Pat goes through. Pat still with fuel to play with, as has Harvey, and RB's being very clever with his fuel, ladies and gentlemen. Digi as well, good fuel amount. At Racing, not good fuel amount, but he's moved ahead of Jokers and Paul Power as they make their pits. Jammy Dodger goes through and up and into 8th place, as Shadow Rider is right there with Baz. Baz, has he pitted? No, Baz has had a 1:43.2 last time around. He has had an absolute nightmare somewhere in that last lap. And Ginger Collective moves up ahead in his Renault, as Sky also deciding to pit. Joker's out, as is Paul Power. Paul Power on a set of medium tyres, as is Joker. So they've not used a second compound yet, have they not? I think they were on the mediums before, so they're saying that they are going to have to make another pit stop and use some soft tyres. Skyjacker has gone to a set of mediums as well. I think he was on the mediums. There was only a couple that were on softs, wasn't there? So Paul Power now giving Jokers a lot to think about. Shadow Rider falling behind the Baz. The Baz still slinging Porsche with Jammy Dodger in 8th. At Racing in the group now. He's joined the group chat. Koikap has gone into the pits needing fuel and new tyres, and Pat stays out still. Great driving from Pat, great fuel conservation, as has RB. RB trying to make a one-stop of this, ladies and gentlemen, and he's doing a fine job with it, as is Digi as well. Great fuel consumption from these two pilots. Jammy Dodger also staying out for another lap, but that'll probably be about it. Bazza as well, low on fuel, as is Shadow Rider. And these guys all yet to pit, but it's going to be a two-stop race, it seems. The fuel consumption too high. It must be those long straights. The Renault also opting not to pit, is up to 7th at the moment. And again, the Renault has done very good fuel conservation. So Koikap, the leader of the race, back out. He's on a set of softs and he's filled right up. So he's, oh no, yellow flag. Oh, Shadow Rider has binned it, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we watch his pain? Oh, it was nothing. It was nothing. We'll watch it again, because it was absolutely nothing. And he was chasing down the Bazza. He just went a little skew whiff in that corner, and the back end still decided no. Even though he thought he caught it, the back end said nah. So the Bazza in 5th, Jammy Dodger in 4th. Jammy Dodger desperate for some fuel, as is the Baz now. Digi and, Digi's tyres are pretty much in pain, as RB as well can continue on halfway. I reckon RB's going for a one-stopper here, and Pat, he's going to have to pit, I think. That's his next available option, which is just in a second. Here he goes into the pits then for Pat. RB, I would expect to continue on, as will Digi. Digi's tyres are risking it though. I would say risking it. That tail end could want to swing round with the tyres the way they are. Pat still in the pits as Jammy Dodger makes his way into the pits, as does the Baz. Ginger Collective still got enough fuel for another lap, and I'm sure he will opt to do that, as Shadow Rider in 7th, and he comes into the pits now, and Ginger Collective does continue on, moves up to 3rd place. Great stuff. This is because I said negative things about the Renault, obviously. Koikart then in 4th, and Paul, no, Pat's come out ahead of Paul. Paul's coming down, no, Paul's got ahead. Pat's come out ahead of Jokas though. Jokas and the Pat duel again, and Paul has pulled an absolute blinder and jumped Jokas and Paul there. Pat and Paul now up and into 5th, hunting himself a Lambo that was in the lead of this race, if you remember. So Koikap should be in the lead again after these guys all make their pits, and it's going to be very close. I think RB's going to get another lap out of it, but still not halfway, is it? It's not exactly halfway, so it's not going to gain him anything. Digi, he's going to have to pit on this lap, I think. So he couldn't quite go halfway with that fuel load. Ginger Collective as well, it looks like he's going to be forced to stop at the end of this one. RB again, he's going to have to pit at the end of this one, and that's only going to be around 18 minutes into the race. 2 minutes shy of the halfway mark that he needs. Now where's Digital going to come out? He was racing the likes of the halves, at racing around the halves, and halves getting manhandled there as Big Dan off the road as well, and at racing now up and into 8th place with those soft tyres. Ginger Collective into the pits, as is Digi. Digi's leaving. Digi is heading out of the pits now, and Paul Power is past, and that is it. That's great stuff. Digi getting ahead of Jokas and Pat there in his pit stop. He hasn't fully filled, ladies and gentlemen. He's only part filled. He knows he's got to make another stop. He knows RB. Oh, he knows RB hasn't pitted. Koikap. So interesting strategy. Only a short fill-in. Jokas then continuing on in 5th with Pat in 6th. We've got out racing now absolutely slinging Scooby. Since he put those soft tyres on, he's come to life. He's taken the fastest lap of the race. Big Dan in 8th, Skyjacker in 9th. The halves down in 10th after coming across at racing. And then the Bazza in 9th. RB finally into the pits, the last to pit, but there's more pits to be made today, I tell thee. 12th for Jammy Dodger, Ginger Collective in 13th, and Shadow Rider in 14th. We'll see Koi Carp's dropped behind Paul Power. Paul Power has got ahead of the Koi. Paul Power will be leading this race by the end of this lap, or the start of this lap. Or is RB going to get out ahead of him? That would be crazy. RB choosing another set of mediums, possibly. It doesn't tell you. Paul Power then coming along, and I don't think RB is going to get out ahead of him. And Paul Power then through, as is Koi, as is Digi, Jokers, Pat. RB is being released. He's gone full, well, he's not even gone full pelt with that fuel, but mostly, and onto the soft tyres. He comes out behind the Pat and the Jokers, who we believe are going to have to pit again. Neither of them have used a second compound. I think it was only Digi and Harvey that were on the soft tyres at the beginning, but I'm not 100% sure. I should have wrote it down. So Digi in 3rd, Koi Carp losing the lead to Paul Power. And Paul Power absolutely slinging Ferrari today and doing a fine job in this second race. We're not even halfway yet, though. Still so much could happen, and probably will do, as we get to 19.5 minutes of a 40-minute race. Paul Power leads from Koi Carp, and Digital Blasphemy is in 3rd place. Then we have Jokers in 4th, ahead of the Pat, who's ahead of RB, who we suspect is trying to go one stop in this race, where we think a lot of the other guys are going to have to two-stop this one, unless they do some mega fuel conserving in this second half. But some of them have just put the same tyre compound on. Oh, that racing nearly lost the Scooby over the curbs there, and he is heading into an absolute den of Vipers racing here. Jokers, RB and the Pat, and at racing better beware as he goes into this little pack. Big Dan chasing him down in 8th place, with Skyjacker in 9th, Harvey in 10th, and the Baz. Harvey, I think, was the one who's used both compounds, but I don't think his fuel's going to get him to the end, so he'll be making another stop. As the Bazza in 11th, the Baz dropping down hard earlier in the race, as his teammate Skyjacker having issues as well, and the Porsche's just trying to come back in this race as it stands. The Jammy Dodger in the MC Laren. Oh, and we've lost someone. I think it is Matt Sykes. Oh no, Matt Psycho has gone. Hopefully it's a disconnect and not that he just suddenly thought, hang on a minute, this isn't ACC. Paul Power leads then, with Koi Carp in 2nd place, Digital Blasphemy in 3rd, RB in 4th, with Jokers in 6th. So RB's got himself past Pat and Jokers so far this lap. And I said he was conserving fuel. I don't think he is, you know. Digi, he short-filled to get ahead of Jokers and Pat, I assume. And he's gone for a second set of mediums, so he's got to use either hards or softs at some point in the race. And Koi Carp, he has used 2 compounds. Paul Power, I don't think has. I think he's used 2 sets of mediums, but I may be wrong. But a lot of these guys know the fuel isn't going to get them to the end of the race. So maybe a short stint on the softs at the end to try and pick up any places that they may have lost during the way. Koi Carp looks like he's starting to come back at Paul Power now, as RB starts adding a bit of pressure. He's taken the fastest lap of the race. Digital Blasphemy in 4th place, At Racing in 5th. At Racing was languishing around the first half of this race nowhere, and now he is coming back strong, but those soft tyres are wearing thin rather fast, and his fuel tank isn't doing much better. Jokers in 6th, still ahead of Pat. That's his main concern at the moment, I think. Pat and Jokers. Pat, he can't concern himself about at racing, because I think he's on a different strategy, although Joker's as close to a pit stop himself. Pat in 7th, then Big Dan in 8th. Half a tank of fuel. He's just done his fastest lap of the race so far, and he's got quite a gap before Skyjacker picks him up. Skyjacker on the medium tyres, only managing 29.8, well, 28.8 last time. He's a little all over the shop. He's not as consistent as I'm sure he would like, but he's dipping into the 28s and the 29s consecutively, with Big Dan now 29.9 that last time around. So Skyjacker, it's seesawing between himself and Big Dan. The halves under pressure from the Baz. The Baz giving it big, large ones with those soft tyres behind the halves. And we know the halves is on the medium tyre. And the Baz trying to get past 10th place here at the moment for some good points. Oh, I missed a digital chat thing. Oh, digital players, you had me at Budweiser and Old Spice. 70s rape case. So Bazza there in 11th, sniffing around the half. Oh God, sorry, I forget myself. Ooh, Bazza sniffing hard as well, like it's a line of something. Bazza then all up and in the rear derriere of the halves, and one wonders what halves has got in that boot that is intriguing Bazza so much. A couple of bags in the back of Harvey's boot. Paul's back in for his second stop, and so has the Digi. Out Racing then goes through and up to 3rd. Koi Carp in 2nd. RB now in the lead of this race, and it is questionable if he's going to be in again, but I think he will. I don't think his fuel's going to go, ladies and gents. That fuel ain't getting him to the end. So Koi Carp then as well will need to make a stop before the end of this race. Out Racing also, and he's using his soft tyres up quite healthily. Pat in 4th. As I was sipping my coffee, I just realised, ooh, Joker's hit that barrier hard. That Pat's got himself ahead of Joker's, but we just see Joker's hit the barrier. It looks like he's struggling somewhat in the Jag on those used medium tyres, on light fuel as well. It must be unhandleable. And Joker's there feeling a huge amount of understeer from the Jag. And even worse now with a bit of suspension damage. And Big Dan is all up and about his business. Big Dan gonna waste no time on the... He's such an ableist, isn't he? Poor old Jokers. He's hindered at the moment. And Big Dan don't care. He's gonna overtake him anyway. Boom. There you go. That's your bad day, not mine. Oh, is it though? Because Joker's having a little look, but no. Big Dan's through. Out Racing now in for his last stop as Jokers comes in as well. Big Dan continues on. So Bazza, he's still going at 8th, 9th for Harvey. Jammy Dodger in 10th in the MC Laren. Then we've got Digital Blasphemy after his final pit stop onto soft tyres. Nearly a full tank of fuel, and and he's jumped Paul Power. He's actually jumped Paul Power in that pit stop situation. And now Digi could be the leader of the race when it all washes out. Skyjacker in the pits. Joker's still in the pits. Out Racing in the pits. He's been released and ahead of Joker. So Out Racing out there behind Paul Power. Not that far as well. Out Racing rather rapid. And if he's if he gets his finger out of his rear derriere, he's going to catch up Paul Power, who's all over the rear derriere of the Digital Blasphemy. And he's having a look, ladies and gents. We saw a little treat of Paul Power and Digi racing in the sprint earlier, and now we're getting the feature race with Paul Power and Digi. And this one really is for the lead, and Digi makes a mistake in that corner, and Paul is really into his rear derriere. Paul's going to go for the move now, up the straight, but no, the Lambo, yes, he has. I thought the Lambo might have a little grunt to say about it, but the Ferrari is up and past virtually down the straight. It's a drag race to the first corner. It looks like Jamie Dodger and the halves also having a similar drag race. And Paul under braking. Can he do it? He does. And the rear, he's squirreling around all over the place under acceleration. And Digi there, very solid, coming out of the corner, is all up and about Paul's business. He's checking his wallet, his watch, and he's like a bouncer. He even knows to rub his finger around the top of the sock. So he knows the tricks, ladies and gents. So Digi, tries to turn in on Paul, and Paul says, "No, I haven't disappeared, mate. I'm still here on your inside." So Paul and Digi having an absolute battle royale. Digi does take the lead though of the Paul. Jamie Dodger ahead of him, and Paul again coming back. I can't pull away. These two are fighting tooth and nail at the moment. The Ferrari and the Lambo absolutely slinging. It's the battle of the Italians, the mobsters, the families. Again, down and dirty, ladies and gents. But it looks like the Lambo now starting to pull away from the Ferrari. Now RB, he wasn't going for a one-stop at all. He's come in now. He's come in, as has Koikarp. Koikarp in also. Pat coming in as well. And Big Dan, he's going to need to come in, but he hasn't. So Big Dan, he fancies just leading a lap, maybe. He just thought, just one lap. This Toyota doesn't seem to be in a position to do it. So I'll do it with the pit stops. So these guys all into the pits. The halves looks like he's ready for a pit stop as well. And so is the Jamie Dodger. And Digi then and Paul Power. Is this to take the lead for Digi and Paul Power? Big Dan's still out there. No, RB's out. RB is out. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. How on earth did he do that? Digi and Paul Power have been mugged off proper by the RB. Unbelievable stuff. The shag slinging. I thought Digi and Paul were going to get ahead for show of the RB, but the RB pulling out all the stops and Digi getting it all wrong in there. And I don't know if he's feeling contacts from Paul, but these two are fighting tooth and nail, ladies and gentlemen. The Ferrari wants to give way, and Digi there, look at it, side-by-side action all the way through the sweeping corners. And Digi, for now, is ahead of Paul Power, but there is more of a fight to go. We've got 10 minutes left of racing, ladies and gentlemen, and Big Dan, is he going to make it to the pit lane? I believe he is. He's there now, so all's good for Big Dan. Where's that going to put him out? He's around Pat somewhere, isn't he? Pat and Jokers. Shadow Rider yet to pit. He's in 9th place behind Pat, who's made all his pit stops. He's running to the line. Skyjacker's made all his pit stops. He's running to the finish line. And Koikarp also. They've got a lot more fuel on than Skyjacker and Pat, though. Well, no, Skyjacker seems to be very low on fuel. I'm a bit nervous about Sky. Big Dan into the pits then, and that puts RB into the lead. Paul Power back ahead of Digi. Last we saw, Digi was ahead. Then there's more racing here with racing past Koikarp. And Skyjacker a little further back from them, but I am nervous about Skyjacker's fuel tank. It's not great, as Koikarp trying to find a way around outracing, but outracing isn't playing about. He's not waiting about for that. He says to Koi, I want to get on that podium. So Skyjacker then, we're keeping an eye on his fuel is a concern, but nothing serious at the moment. Pat in 7th place with Big Dan in 8th. We've got the Bazza. Well, Big Dan's had his pit stop then, and it was around Pat. I said he's chasing. Big Dan and Bazza somehow have got ahead. Oh, yeah, because Pat had, Jokers had that damage, didn't he? So Bazza now up a position in 9th ahead of Jokers, the Polish pilot, and Harvey in 11th. With Jamie Dodger in 12th, Shadow Rider in 13th. Welcome back, buds. And Ginger Collective in the Renault is in 14th. So RB absolutely slinging shag today and doing a super job. What did he do? He get second in the first race? First in the first, the first in the second race? Maybe. There's still things can happen. And Wayne saying the move. There was some moves, man. We've seen a few, especially with Digi and Paul. Absolutely banging stuff. Paul Power then has got he's put out some pheromones there. He's put out a bit of a scent. Oh, again the Ferrari just doesn't want to come around the corner, and it's heart dropping stuff every time. How that Paul keeps it in place, and Digi closes in again, back on board with the Digi, as that Ferrari just wants to slide in the odd corner here and there. And Digi is there for it. He's right on the scene, ladies and gentlemen, to catch that action when it happens. And these guys have got to be very careful, because At Racing is closing in now with the power of the slipstream. Ooh, Paul closing that gap. That's not cricket. That's not very gentlemanly, Paul. Got to give a bit of space. He got the toe. So Digi then getting the door slammed right in his face. He had his foot in there as well. He broke a toe, for heaven's sakes. At Racing slinging Scooby, but Koikarp staying with him all the way. And listen to that Scooby and Lambo together, the harmonies. Oof, dropping it down a gear for Koi there. I think he caught up with the back of the Scooby and had to back out of it a bit. And again, Digi and Koi. Fuck. There was a swear word there if you're quick enough. Digi and Paul at it again. And At Racing keeping Koikarp at bay, trying to close in on this podium battle we're having here. And Paul's gone very wide, and Digi's gone through. Digi's gone through as Paul goes wide. And now At Racing is in the mix, ladies and gents. Shuddering with that lag into the action as Koikarp chases him down, and he's fancying a piece of this as well as we move into the final 5 minutes of this race. And is that Skyjacker in the mix ahead of his teammate? No, that's Pat. Skyjacker's got himself ahead of the Pat and Big Dan, I think. Bazza in 9th, Jokus in 10th, Harvey in 11th, Jammy Dodger is in 12th, Shadow Rider is in 13th, Ginger Collective 14th, RB is leading, Digi, oh my word, here we go. So Paul trying to protect his podium position. Oh, we've lost the Koi. We'll go back and look, but At Racing there, still in 4th. Pat's through, Sky's through, Big Dan is through, and here is Koi. We'll have a look. I think it's the curbs. They're killers today. And he's a little ginger going into the corner. No, Skyjacker helped him along. I mean, he was going very slow through the corner, and Skyjacker just continues on. I mean, he probably thinks what you're doing in the middle of the corner going so slow. So Skyjacker continues on. Big Dan in 7th. Koikarp having some trials and tribulations in the corner there. He was very slow, it seemed. He went in there, I think, a little late and had to crawl around. Oh, God, these controllers can't even last an hour anymore under the comms. Got to do a swap over. 5 minutes from the end. Give me a sec. In fact, it's probably all right for you guys, don't you? Get a break from hearing me talk. Joker's then in 10th place, man alive. Harvey in 11th. There is absolutely fighting up and down the field here. Shadow Rider and Ginger Collective have lost the pack. So we've got RB leading the race by a country mile. Digi is up, and At the Racing has got past Paul. At the Racing and has got past Paul. And Paul now under pressure from the Pat. Ferrari on Ferrari action. It's a couple of Italian ladies, gentlemen. Be upstanding, of course. And Pat then going for the move around the outside. And Paul, is it the tyres? No, Pat's wide off of the track. And Paul maintains the position. And now Skyjacker is closing in on the Pat. Pat trying to defend the position from the Porsche. But the Porsche is swinging around like a pendulum behind, trying to find a position to get the move done. and Paul just trying to stay ahead of this action. And is Sky giving him a bump? I think Sky was giving him a bump down the straight there. They've come back at Paul rather strong. Pat slingshots up the inside, Paul's on the outside, and Skyjacker now stuck behind the pair of them, and Pat is up and into 4th place. Great stuff. Bump draft or not, and the Ferrari nearly went on him, but he kept it together. Great car control from the Pat there, and Out Racing is slinging it, but his tyres are dying on the vine. We are 2.5 minutes away from the end of the race. Digital Blasphemy is in 2nd place, chasing down the RB, but the RB has got it under control. Digi in 2nd, Out Racing, there's movement. Pat, Sky, Paul's moved down another position. His fuel's low, his tyres are buggered, and Skyjacker now moves ahead of him. Big Dan is next in the queue, and Paul may have been hoping he'd be screaming at the soft tyres and the fuel. Is he going to get it to the end? I'm sure he will. But Big Dan there in 7th. Then we've got the Baz in 8th. He's getting good speed, but he's racing no one. All the racing is up ahead. Big Dan, Paul, whose tyres are going and his fuel is low, and we've still got another lap after this one. We've got Skyjacker. Maybe Paul's fuel, it looks low, you know. Pat up and into 4th. He's got plenty of fuel to burn, and there we go. Big Dan comes on by Paul Power. I don't know if he's just trying to lift and coast to get that Ferrari to the finishing line ahead of the Baz, but he's definitely got to do some fuel conservation, because the Baz is slinging Porsche at the moment, and Paul Power could be in trouble with the fuel. RB, safe hands for him at the moment. We've got a minute of racing, so this should, I tell you what, he might get another lap, you know. RB might have to do another lap in this one. Digital Blasphemy could be safe. At the Racing, though, is slinging it behind him, and we know At the Racing, ATR Acing is he's pretty fast. He's pretty good, and Digi is going to have his hands full trying to maintain this for the rest of the lap. Pat in 4th. What a drive from Pat in the Ferrari ahead of Big Dan. Where did Skyjacker go? Skyjacker's coasting as well, ladies and gents. Oh no, Skyjacker's got big damage. Oh, we've got to watch then, haven't we? So Sky then goes for the attack on the Pat, all up and in his rear derriere. And oh yeah, the Porsche just wanted to keep going round. He was having so much fun in that corner. He said, no, let's keep it going. So Big Dan moves up into 5th. Great stuff for Big Dan. Paul Power, who's now out of fuel. Oh, heartbreaking for the Power of Paul's. And he is out of fuel. Skyjacker then closing in, but he might be in the same boat. Where's the Baz? The Baz is coming up as well. And RB has crossed the line, I believe, to start his final lap. So this is where it's going to end, in the line of it. It might not, though. And Digi will want it to as he crosses the line. Oh, my word. Digi, hang on. Let's go back. Because did Digi put his brakes on? Digi didn't want to go for another lap. He knew he didn't have the fuel. Did he dab his brakes? I reckon he dabbed his brakes and hoped to catch. Ah, naughty. I see what he's trying to there, but At the Racing got it. Pat finished in 4th. Big Dan in 5th. Skyjacker comes home in 6th. Bazza does get past Paul Power, as does Koikarp for 7th. Koikarp in 8th. And Joker's then in 9th. Poor Paul Power. Oh, they've all come past him, haven't they? Harvey in 10th. And Paul Power there creeping around. But here comes the jammy Dodger in the MC Laren, and he gets to the end. All of these guys got their fuel right. Poor old Paul Power. You've got to feel bad. So jammy Dodger gets 11th. And Paul Power, Shadow Rider, he might be safe. He might be safe from the Shadow Rider as he comes up to the line for 12th, and he deserved a lot more than that. Jesus. Shadow Rider then in the Audi, dipping his toe back in the VRC swimming pool, and he's done a fantastic job there in 13th. And Ginger Collective not that far behind him in 14th. Fantastic stuff. And RB takes the win, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome drive from RB. Fantastic racing. So RB gets the win, ladies and gents, at Racing, gets that second place, but Digi trying all he can to maintain that second place, but it just didn't work out for him as he finished in third, Pat in fourth, with Big Dan in fifth. Then we had Skyjacker coming home in sixth, only just enough fuel to get there, as Bazza in seventh. So the two teammates, it's not bad. Bazza should be pleased with that. He had an up and down race, didn't he? And ended up in seventh. Koi Carp, I don't know. He had that spin, didn't he? He was in there. He was in there fighting for well, he was in the lead for a long time, but he should have been up there fighting for a top three, but he had a bit of a spin, and it's put him down into eighth place. Jokus in ninth. Harvey comes home in 10th. Jammy Dodger finished in 11th. Paul Power, unfortunately, in 12th, ahead of Shadow Rider in 13th and Ginger Collective in 14th. So, huge congratulations to At Racing for the first victory and RB on the second victory. Next round, ladies and gentlemen, they will be doing battle at... Wrong page. Give me 1 second. Season info. Interlagos. Interlagos is such a fantastic track. So try and keep an eye out for the next Virtual Racers Club GTMC round 2 at Interlagos. That is going to be banging. They race on Thursday, so it should be done over the weekend. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us, and thank you for livening up my chat. I always appreciate you guys getting involved. Wayne saying, what a good race, and peace and love. Well, peace and love to you too, Wayne. And I think it's Colesberg. I'm not sure. Nothing more to tell you. I've got the OTH, guys, Sunday evening Manufacturers Cup to do tomorrow morning. So set your alarms. And then Thursday morning, it'll be the URLs, Wednesday evening shenanigans. Then at the weekend, we'll have some more tyre shredders and Virtual Racers Club. That's the week ahead. Take care of yourselves. And don't forget, I forgot. Tiru, peace and love. Peace and love.